And let's just start, as we often do, going from side to side. This really does reset all our energies. It's a complete energy movement. I was quite interested also to attend a Tai Chi virtual class, of course, the other day, or a virtual workshop. And they do this in Tai Chi as well. So it seems to be, and also skirting along the Qigong movement. Hello, Heather, I can see you. So I'm quite interested. This seems to be across the Eastern practices, this energy movement. So I've said this before, but for the benefit of Heather, this movement is very much found in Tibetan yoga. And the more vigorously you swirl from side to side, comes into something called yantra yoga. And yantra yoga is the medicine side of Tibetan yoga. And your invitation here is to move as little or as much as you would like. So you can lift your heels off or not. The more you sway, the more your heels might lift. Your hands can go low, they can go high, they can slap you around the shoulders, which is coming into the yantra aspect of the movement. And it just loosens everything up very safely. You can do this to a lesser extent if you're in a queue and getting really agitated, but obviously perhaps the less movement version might be better, attract less attention. And then just come to the center and very gently lift and roll your shoulders. This lifting and rolling the shoulders is so important to open the gateway going up into the head. Lifting and rolling your shoulders. I don't know if you can see me better sideways. It's difficult to see what you can see. So, and then just set your shoulders back. So this next one is a vibrational movement. So again, just say to me, because we're connected speech-wise, I'm not muted you. I am just lifting, I don't know if you can see me, just lifting my heels and bouncing. So I'm 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Your knees bend, and there's a little vibration that goes up through the back of your heels. And that vibration gets energy and movement moving throughout your body. And it's a lack of movement or stagnation which can lead to illness and a blockage of energy. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then just again sway from side to side, but this time perhaps sway your arms up and then turn to the other side. I'm lifting my heels to go properly from side to side, but you don't have to do that. Up and up and up and up. And then just sway your hands forward and backwards. And come once more to lifting and rolling your shoulders. And now stand with your feet hip width apart. Press your feet down, so spread your toes. And that spreading of the toes opens your lung meridians as the toes join the foot. So that's the first point. Down. And your little toes, spread them out. You're beginning automatically to address any imbalances in your posture. And we all have them. And then just slightly rock forward and slightly rock back and see where, again, your balance is. Notice if you go externally or you tend to go inwards on your feet. So just subtly moving backwards and forwards and side to side might help you to determine that. And then come to standing with your feet spread like this and the mounds of your big toe down. You're automatically securing your pose, which is the foundation of your total balance really. And then just inhaling, bending one arm, I don't mind which it is, raising it up. The other hand can hold your thigh, or you can be freestyle if you want to. And just breathing out, just tilt slightly over to the side. Your chin tucks in. And you can either look up, look ahead, or look down. Tummy in, or abdomen in, as you slide up. And breathing out, just bend your elbow and come down. And then the other side, breathing in, raise your elbow. It doesn't have to be straight. Really use your other arm as support as you breathe out and just slide your arms slightly down. Your chin can be in, and you can either turn your head to look up, look ahead, or look down. And then slide up and lower your arm. Raise both arms, bring them together to clasp your hands, and reverse your palms upwards. Press your feet down and press your arms up. And keeping that engagement, breathing out, slightly go to one side, a lateral stretch. Press your feet down as you come to the center, and breathing out, go to the other side. Press your feet down, come to the center. And breathing out, slightly turn as little or as much as you would like to one side. This is a rotational movement. Come back to the center. And breathing out, turn slightly to the other side. And then come to the center. And then just separate your hands and bring them to shoulder height. If that's too much for your arm, always keep a bend in the elbows. Breathing out, this is your neck now, turn your head and look beyond the third finger of that hand. Breathing in, come with your head back to the center. And breathing out, very gently turn your head to look beyond the third finger of the other hand. And then come back to the center. And then just lower your arms, they've been up for quite some time. And lift and roll your shoulders. Place your hands on your waist and just open your elbows backwards slightly. You're opening the lung space helpful for breathing. Just keep your feet slightly wider than hip width apart. And again, I don't know if you can see me. Just subtly bend your knees. You're putting on your abdominal control, your tummy or muscles slightly engaged. And then standing up and just releasing your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders. And then slide your hands down your front, placing your hands on your shins and inhaling, lengthening your spine. Breathing out, bend your knees, elbows out to the side. Inhaling, pressing your hands on your shins and have a sense that you're lengthening from your tailbone to the top of your head. Breathing out, bend in. And then just straighten your legs slightly, lengthen your spine. Stay here as you breathe out. And then breathing in, soften your knees as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And when you're up, lift and roll your shoulders. And clasp your hands, knuckles aim towards the ground. This opens you at the shoulder level. Breathing out, slightly turn perhaps to your left side. Come to the center. And breathing out, slightly go to the right side. Come to the center. Separate your hands. And then inhaling, raising your hands, either looking straight ahead or look up. whichever's good for your neck, and just stretch your fingers out, mimicking the stretching of the feet out. And then breathing out, lower the hands, morning, Nikki. And then just lift and roll your shoulders. And then we're going to do a similar movement, but this is very much rooted in. This is very much. Nikki's just sorting me out instantly. She's arrived, and actually, Jilly, she I think you thought it was 11:30.
I did, yes.
Yeah. It's 11:30, but she's fixated on 11:30 for some reason. Anyway, so yes, good morning. Yes, I did. So I knew you'd turn up. So then just bring your hands to here, just below your navel, your hara in yoga and your dantian in Chinese. Inhaling, lifting your hands halfway, reverse and going up. Press your feet into the ground. So this seems the same. Breathing out, go to one side, as little or as much as you would like, chin in. Breathing in, come to the center, and breathing out, go to the other side. Your chin is in so that your neck's not being compromised. Inhale, come back to the center. Breathing out, yet again, just slightly turn to one side. A rotation is one of the back movements that you need to make for a healthy back. Come back to the center. And breathing out, just very slightly and gently turn to the other side, balancing your movement. And come back. This time, lower your hands and reverse the palms. You might like to step out a little bit to secure your balance. And as you carry on lowering your hands, keep include bending your knees and come down very gently. Come down as far as you would like. So you might, and you're invited to come to a complete squat. However, I'm not asking you to do that. Come to where you want to, where you think I've come far enough. Your hands are facing towards the ground, your head is relaxed down. And breathing out, slightly turn and move your hands to the left. Stretching the right side. Come back to the center. And breathing out, turn to the other side. I'm going to my right side. Come back to the center and separate your hands and just hold behind your calves. So your elbows are bent, your knees are bent, your upper body is supported on your top of your legs, and just come to curl in. It's like an extreme skiing pose. And you're just stretching out your lower back here. Slide your hands to the front of your shins to support your weight. As you bend, your knees are bent still, and you're just gradually moving your hands up your body. Your knees are straightening a little bit as you're supporting your weight, and your body is coming upright. Nothing fast, just gentle support as you come upright. And now, once you're upright, lift and roll your shoulders. And this, many of you have seen before, it moves all the joints, just flying. So you're bending your knees, you're bending your ankles, the shoulders are moving, the elbows are moving, the wrists are moving. The air is going through your hands, your fingers, sense of touch linking to your heart. It's really good for weight bearing.
It's particularly good in your top.
And
some wings.
And it's moving your chest muscles. It's regularizing your respiratory function because you are naturally coordinating your breath, your movement. Such a simple movement. Your arms are bent so there's less pressure on your shoulders. And in fact, if you have any stiffness, bend your elbows more. And you are, as I said, as you're lifting your arms, you're opening under your arms, which is part of your upper limb system. So it really does tick lots and lots of boxes, and it's such a simple movement. It's imitating bird flight, really, although we're very firmly earthbound here. Haven't got the exact movement of birds, but it's really helpful. And just a very nice and simple, gentle way to ease any creaking joints. But we won't have too much of a good thing, just come to finish. Bring your hands once more gently underneath your navel, so it's called dantian, or underneath your hara. It's the centre of your body in any ancient view, your core. And just breathing in, lift your hands up, turn, reverse them, and just, I like to do, just go over your head and then just come down. So this simple and strange movement is breaking your connection, your energetic, electrical connection with the outside world. So it can be quite calming and soothing, particularly with very sensitive people who are very subject to headaches in crowded places. This is quite, again, if you did this in a shopping centre, you might get some strange looks, but this has that effect. It's cleansing your magnetic field, or you could say it's cleansing your aura if you're into that belief system. But whatever, even on a physical movement, it's exercising your shoulders as you lift and raise them back. And then just release your hands. And this time, just circle your wrists gently up. I'm bending, as you can see, just hands up. And then breathing out, circle your hands and wrists down. So again, you're moving your joints, you're spreading your hands and your fingers a little bit, but your wrists are getting a nice workout. And again, you're coordinating your movement with your breath and breathing out, just lowering. And then just take one hand, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to just pull my thumb up lightly. I'm just creating space between the joints, very good for arthritis. Just gently pull, pull, just shake that hand. And then I'm going to reverse again. If you can see, I'm just going to pull, 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 and shake the hand. So a coordination movement. Again, I don't know if you can.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
You know, some people really click and properly pull
Yes.
out their knuckles and stuff.
Yes.
Did you say that's good or bad for them?
So this question was asked before, actually in my training. It's perfectly okay as long as it doesn't hurt you. The cracking or the popping is releasing baby, it just trapped energy. So it's fine. It's very frightening for anybody else, and you think, oh, don't do that. But it's absolutely fine. But I would probably suggest less is better. So, you know, just a gentle pull. Arthritis is where you get little deposits of calcium deposits in the joints, and they become inflamed and swollen. So where we tapped off heels at the beginning, it's moving energy, and just by subtly pulling your fingers or massaging that even gentler, you're just releasing that any trapped energy. So you're giving movement to the joints, which sometimes don't get that movement in that way. So another arthritic movement, which is not controversial at all, is just opening and spreading your fingers. So you can almost flick them out. And actually, if you're doing a lot of computer work with your fingers, this is brilliant for stretching out your fingers and just stretching the tendons and just keeping everything moving. I'm doing my hands up. If you want to real let go, you can flick out as well, and the energy just bursts out. So yes, it's just, and just let it all go and throw the energy out. I should also say that the hands, won't be surprised, linked to the heart. So you're literally just releasing a lot of energy level there. And then this could do your head in, but it's just, again, I'm bringing my hands forward, opening them like wings, backs of the hands together, and then bringing up. It exercises your wrists in a subtly different way. So the wrist supply energy, had to be exercised to get proper energy through to your fingers. So you're just exercising, as I said, the wrists in a slightly different way. And also, this is Nikki's field of expertise, the energy in your little fingers, am I right in thinking links to the lungs? Is that
It
right?
does.
Do you want to
It does.
display
It
again?
goes all the way inside, all the way, and then comes down and does all the. So you've got very good for the lymphatic system as well, going all the way around the lymph nodes and then finishes there. So some lung points pressing in under the collarbones is just having a little walk with the fingers going along like that. You can really feel.
So we'll do that in a second. I'm just going to invite you, before we leave the hands, to reverse the movement. If you can't do this, don't worry. So I'm bringing my hands towards me, backs of the hands together, and then out. Turning and backs of the hands. It's also a mind coordination, by the way, this. So you're asking your left and your right brain hemispheres to communicate with one another, which is anti-aging of the brain. But don't panic if you can't do it. You're not going to rally. So just exploring some of those points. I don't know if you want to just go through them on here on the lung part.
Well, it's just underneath the collarbone. If you have a little walk along with the tips of your fingers, you'll find some places maybe slightly lower down, maybe slightly higher, and just have a little explore. And when you find some points that go, they're kind of like trigger points, really.
Tender.
You can just,
tender.
yeah, a little bit of tenderness, and you can just take a nice 90-degree angle and just maybe lean. You can do this if you're on a table, and you can just kind of lean back here and then moving away and towards. You just give yourself a little self-massage.
So just picking up on that, I did some heart training, specialist training up in London. It was last year, gosh, with the only heart therapy private. So she works in the NHS. Heart clinic in the UK like it. It was very interesting, but not that any of us are destined for heart attacks, I'm sure. But when you stretch out like this, in what we're doing now, or openings, stretching out the chest, you are literally physically stretching out the chest. So when you breathe and stand properly, your diaphragm is aligned properly, and the diaphragm has connective tissue that links to the heart. So you're actually opening your chest, you're very safely opening your heart area, your heart space, which is what they give people who have heart attacks for part of their remedial and therapy recovery. And it's also when you're moving, breathing in, slightly opening, breathing out, slightly coming back down again, you're coordinating your movement with your breath, which again slows your nervous system down. So even something in yoga as simple as moving like this is working on your respiratory function, but it's also working on your heart. It's calming for the nervous system, and it's opening the connective tissue. Even this is opening under your arms, so it's opening under your lymph system. So you've got lots and lots of benefits by doing this. And the other thing, I mean, it's so simple, just standing on the ground, you can always, I can feel it in this lower digestive, not just digestive, the whole organ system. So we are really connected as a whole. So we're going to come to the ground, but I know, Gilly, that you said you couldn't necessarily, of course, see when I'm on the ground. So I just wanted to say, within that, when I say cross the legs, I'm trying to think what we're going to do. Yeah. When I say cross the legs over in a figure of four, we'll be lying down. It's this kind of movement. It's that opening the knee out to the side. So we'll be doing that, but lying down. And then the other thing, if I don't make myself clear, is when I say bend like a banana, it's hands up, and I'm almost taking hold of my hand with the wrist and just going over slightly like that, so that you're going, not just leave it as it is, well, whatever you think. So just, and that's what I mean by going that. I'm trying to think of anything else, but I'm hugging the knee into the chest. You can, when we do that, it's just either the other leg, this is like this, one leg straight and the other leg's hugged in, or when you're on the ground, you can have this knee bent, so that can also work. I hope that makes sense. But ask me, because we are connected on sound at the moment. So being very ceremonial, come to bring your hands together. The other thing I want to say is when you bring your hands into your heart area and bring your thumbs slightly into the sternum, it's very hard to slouch. So you begin to have perfect posture. So for everything, your heart, your organ function, this is actually quite nice. I know they call it prayer. And you're also beginning to press those little fingers together, which is opening the lung meridians. So we don't often, and I don't often, bring my little fingers together like this. I tend to leave a gap. But if you can actually bring the little fingers together, you're beginning to press on the lung meridians, which is then maximizing your uptake of oxygen. None of us use our lungs to their full capacity. So going back to yoga, very ceremonially, just slightly feet apart, and come to bend to come down to the ground however you want to. And then once we're on the ground, come to bottom and then come to line. I'm going to invite you to come to knees bent. That's the softest option. So knees bent, come to the elbows, come to line. You can always have it under your head if that's something that you quite like. Some people just don't like their head flat on the ground, but you can have a block or a cushion to keep your neck supported. And come, as I said, with your knees bent, your feet are hip width apart. Your hands just for the moment are palms down to get your position sorted. Feel free to adjust at any point. And I'm now going to pick up my left leg and hug my left leg into my chest. My right leg at the moment is bent. You can, if you want a greater stretch, extend your right leg along the ground. The wisdom is that it is better just stretched out if you're going to do that, otherwise just come back to bending the knee, but just be comfortable. And hugging your knee into your chest, you're already beginning to stretch into the lower back. It's a semi-supine position. This pose is a variation of a pose called Apanasana. And Apana is one of the energies, one of the 5 energies that can move. You'll be very start swaying from side to side. And Apana is a downward, eliminative energy. And you think, well, why would we need that? But it's part of our foundational energy. We need the elimination, otherwise we stagnate, we block everything up. It's part of our, our elimination, our physical elimination. So if that's not right, everything else is out. And the Apana energy, it very much is governed by the lower abdominal energy. So it's really setting your foundation, but also stretching out the lower back. And there's nothing very much for you to do because the body, your skeleton, is being supported by the ground. And so it's not being asked to do anything for the body. Your body is not being asked to engage those heavy duty muscles running along your back and lower back. But the body takes quite some time to start relaxing, about 15 to 20 minutes sometimes. So if your muscles ever go into spasm, you need to do a variation of this that be prepared to stay here for quite some time. So just holding your left knee and very gently begin to make little circles with your left knee in one direction. Really, your circles are quite small, and you'll feel the top of your leg moving in the hip socket. So you're beginning to give mobility to your hips, which is so important in the anti-aging focus, because it's the hips and the shoulders where the limbs join the body is where there's contraction of the muscles. They're not used to their full capacity, and where we can start to pull forward and misalign, and the aging process starts. But there's a lot we can do to stop that. And then just circle your knee very gently in the other direction. As I said, feel free to adjust your other leg at any point. You can have it straight or bent. And then dropping your hands to underneath your left thigh, supporting it. I'm clasping my hands. Very gently bring and extend your left foot upwards. You can keep your left knee bent, but otherwise just extend to where you're comfortable and then extend your left heel and feel that stretch along the back of your left leg. Really just stretching out the back of the left leg. Remember, you can keep a bend in the left knee. And then just point your toes slightly to the ceiling and then extend your heel away from you. You're beginning to activate the circulation in your lower part of the body, all over your body. Toes up and then extend your heel. And then toes up and extend your heel again. And then very gently circle your left ankle in one direction. You can imagine your big toe like a pencil drawing a circle, and notice where you skip on the circle. And then gently rotate your ankle in the other direction. Again, your ankle is part of your foundational standing. All the weight goes through your ankle into your feet. And then basically just bend your left knee in towards your chest, hug your left knee in, still holding your left knee. Let your left knee extend slightly away from you. Breathing out, hug your left knee into your chest. Still holding it, just let it extend slightly away from you, back to arm's length. You're pulsing and massaging across your lower back, hug your left knee into your chest, and just let it move away from you. And then just gently support the left knee on the side, the left leg, to place the left foot back down onto the ground. And then transfer your attention to your right leg and pick up your right leg. Your left leg can be bent at the knee or it can be along the ground, whichever suits you. Hugging your right knee into your chest. Your right side, depending if you're left or right-handed, but quite often people are more compromised on their right side because it's where the side that reflects anger, irritation, general stresses and strains. So it's your energy channel, Pingala energy channel on the right side of your back. So hugging your knee into your chest and still keeping that hug, just very gently circle your right knee. You'll feel the top of the leg moving in a rotational way in your hip socket. So this is a brilliant way to exercise your hips and to stop your hips seizing up. When we walk moving our hips in one direction. We don't necessarily get the circular movement of the hips. And then gently circling your knee in the other direction. As you're lying here, just check your chin, that it's not shooting up to the ceiling, that the back of your neck is relaxed and slightly long. And then dropping your hands to under your right thigh, clasping them as you begin to extend your right leg upwards towards the ceiling. You can keep a bend in your right knee if you want to. And then explore extending your right heel. Feel stretch all the way along the back of your right leg, freeing off any compression, anything that's caught or stuck. And then just toes slightly up to the ceiling and extend your left heel. When you bring your toes to the ceiling next time, you carry on and curl the toes, but just carefully don't get cramped. If you curl your toes, you're stretching the top of the back of your foot, and that also connects to your lymph system. Extend your right heel, and then toes up to the ceiling, curling as little or as much as you like. Don't get cramped. And then just release and relax the foot and start to circle the ankle in one direction. Again, noting as you draw your circle with your big toe perhaps where you miss parts of your circle. Very easy not to make a complete circle. And then just very gently reverse your direction of your foot, your ankle movement, turning in the opposite direction. And something we didn't do on the left foot, but you can just stretch your toes out, just relax them, stretch them out, that's stretching the long meridian at the base of the toes, and then just relax. And then very, very gently bend your right knee in towards your chest, hugging your right knee in towards your chest, still holding your right knee as you let the right knee drift a little bit away from you to arm's length. You can still keep your arms bent at the elbow if you want to. Hugging your right knee into your chest as you breathe out. Don't worry about the breath too much. You naturally tend to breathe out as you're squashing the tummy. And then inhaling, let the knee drift away from you. You're massaging across the lower back and the upper sacral area. Hugging in and then just releasing the knee away. And then hugging in and let your knee release. Hug your right knee in and then hug your left knee in to join it. And just gently rock from side to side. So how much you rock from side to side is up to you. You can rock to the point that your elbows just touch the ground and bounce you back again to the centre and over to the other side, or just keep central and rock a little tiny amount. Again, you're massaging over your lower back area. How much you have your knees in depends whereabouts the massaging occurs in your lower back. So the more you hug your knees in, the further up along the spine that goes, probably around the L4, L5, even a little bit higher on your lumbar region. If you let your knees travel a bit further away from you, then that focus of the weight goes towards the base of your spine. And you probably might rock slightly less because you haven't got your elbows so much to help you. But you're just massaging on the top of your bottom. So it's wherever you feel that you need, or it's very satisfying to rock from side to side. And then just supporting your legs or your knees if you need to bring one foot down to the ground and then the other foot down to the ground. So your knees are bent. Just move your feet certainly to hip width apart, but you might like to move your feet towards the edge of the mat. And then your hands can either be resting on, let's just have your hands resting on your abdomen so that your elbows are out to the side. And just very gently let both knees drift to one side, which will mean that your hip might lift off the ground. Your head can turn slightly away from your knees, but this is an optional movement. Bring your knees and your head, if you're moving it, to the centre. Your hands will almost slide across your abdomen, almost giving it a slight massage. So your head and knees are to the centre, and then breathing out, let the knees drift to the other side, and your head goes away from your knees. And the wider you've got your feet, your one knee will drop to the centre, knees back to the centre, head back to the centre, and just explore drifting in tune with your breath. However you want to, just drift the knees to one side, the head to the other. So in this very simple movement, you are yet again moving through the spine, at the base of the spine and at the top of the spine. So you're mirroring, or you're moving where the limbs join the spine, join the body at the base of the spine, and again at the top where the shoulder and the arms join as well. So you're connecting to that anti-aging movement of very gently moving across your shoulders a little bit and your hips. It's classified yoga as a rotational movement as you go from side to side, but a very gentle one because your body is being supported by the ground. Your neck going from side to side is opening all kinds of beneficial areas. It's a helpful movement for the neck. It's massaging across the back of your head. It's almost going, if you turn your head a lot, into almost the ear part of the head, or the ear chakra. There is an ear chakra, it's above the top of your ear, below. And then just come to the center. Hug one knee into the chest, and then hug the other knee into the chest again. And just freestyle from side to side, maybe up and down, maybe circle your knees in the same direction, hugging your knees in together, and then just maybe the other way. And then we leave this movement by doing the figure of four that I said. So just bring your left knee, your left ankle on top of your right leg and opening the left knee out to the side. Your hands can be palms down or resting on your abdomen. And this is a very gentle movement. Just let your both knees sway from side to side. So for me, my right foot's on the ground and my right knee is swaying, so it's taking the left knee with it. And this figure of four is opening your hip, but in a very gentle way. So it's opening the inside of your hip. So again, you've got a proliferation of lymph nodes at the inner groin level. And you're very gently getting into a very tiny muscle on the outside of your leg called the piriformis muscle. It's a muscle that's quite short and it joins the part of the joining process of the top of the leg to the hip. And it can be very much implicated if it's shortened in lower back problems. And it's often overlooked, the piriformis muscle. But this gentle figure of four is going some way to addressing that. And then very gently come with your foot back to the center, support your left leg. If it is your left leg, you're open to lift your left foot off the ground and place your left foot on the floor. And then transfer your attention to the right side as you lift up your right foot. Place your right ankle on top of your left knee and open your right knee out to the side. You can even take your right hand, if you like, and place your right hand on your inner right thigh just to ensure that figure of four, and open your groin out a little bit more. Very careful about your knee. You're not supposed to put any pressure on your knee, but just go where you're comfortable and just sway your knees from side to side. Again, you'll feel a massage across your lower back area on the right side, but you're opening once more the groin on your inner groin on your right side, your inner right hip, the lower lymph system, and lymph needs to be moved. So this is very helpful against your right piriformis muscle. And then just very gently, you might like to support your right leg underneath to lift off your right ankle, bring your right foot back down to the ground. And before we come to sitting up, just extend now both feet along the ground. So you're lying. Extend both heels. Bend your elbows and gently with bent elbows raise your hands up. And then hold one wrist, I don't mind which wrist it is, and just very slightly pull one wrist over to the side, the hands pulling the wrist, so you're in a banana shape. You can move your feet slightly to accentuate that banana shape. You're stretching out all the way along one side, just on the underside, the inside of one side. So I'm stretching my left arm and I feel the stretch on my left side. And then bring your arms, they can be bent, they don't have to touch the ground behind. Come with your arms to the centre, your chin's tucked in, move your feet to the centre, if you've moved your feet, and then just move everything, shift it, change hand position. So now my left wrist, my left hand is holding my right wrist, and I'm moving over to the side. My left is my right side. Hopefully you followed that. Is being stretched. My feet are moving over. So it's a slight banana shape, which incidentally is very good for scoliosis. A lot of people who've got scoliosis, it's a curvature of the spine, and just stretching out along the flank. Coming back to the centre, really stretch your feet away from you, as if you've got your toes pressing on an imaginary wall, just spreading your toes, and stretch your arms up behind you so that you're stretching under your arms, your chin comes in. Big stretch, stretch your hands open, and then breathing out, bend your elbows, just relax your legs. Hug your knees into your chest once more. And this time come to a seated position, taking your time. You might like to rock up and down and come straight up, or you might like to roll to the side, slightly away from your heart, and come up. But take your time and give your body time to reorientate the blood to come up quickly to the head. And then come to place the soles of your feet vaguely together in something called Baddha Konasana. So how much you place your feet away from you is up to you. It can be a little bit, or you can bring your feet in a little bit more. We're continuing that theme of opening the inner groin, the inner thigh. Classically for yoga, you would hold your hands in front of your big toes, but you can see I'm hunched over. It's not great for me to do that. You can slide your hands so that the thumbs are massaging the inside the sole of your feet. That's slightly more comfortable. If you want to sit up even more, you can slide your hands up to your shins and sit up. I'm going to just come forward slightly. My feet will move away from me to give me more space. And with my thumbs, I'm going to massage the insides of my soles of my feet. So it's a reflexology for yourself. And your soles of your feet reflect your body. So the solar plexus of your foot, so just under the mound of your big toe, your thumbs will naturally fall into the center, is like the solar plexus of your foot, but of the whole body. And it's where the kidney energy, kidney essence, the energy of our whole body will deplete. So if you just massage the center of the foot, it almost rejuvenates, replenishes our energy stores. But then if you look at these soft soles of the feet, it reflects just in front of the base of the heels, where the large intestine is. So just massage anywhere where it feels quite nice. And then just bounce your knees slightly up and down. It's again anti-stagnation of energy. It's getting energy moving in your body. And the ancients believe that energy locates and accumulates in the base of the spine, but certainly in the lower area. So bouncing the legs is this vibrational energy movement where you're sending the energy up the spine, you're diffusing the energy. That's the basis of Kundalini yoga. So come to a comfortable cross leg position. If that's not comfortable, just have your legs straight out in front of you. And I'm going to suggest holding your shins to hold on to something. As you breathe in, sit up, not very straight, but just a gentle extend sitting upwards. And breathing out, lower your chin to your chest as your back rounds. The chin to the chest in yoga is something called Jalandhara Bandha. Breathing in, sitting up. And as you round, once more, chin comes to the chest. The Jalandhara Bandha, feel, but effectively you're activating something called the vagus nerve, which is very good for calming everything down. Inhaling, sitting up, and breathing out, circling, rounding your back. You're creating space in your vertebra. Coming forward is calming to the nervous system, as we just said. You're warming through your spine, sitting up as you breathe in, you're coordinating the movement of your breath, breathing out, rounding down. Feel the back of the neck is long. The blood is beginning to get into the head as the back of the neck is stretched. Inhaling, sitting up, and then just relax, be neutral. And just let one hand, I'm going to let my left hand slide out, whichever hand out to the side, tummy slightly in, and raising your arm, come to a lateral stretch. So your elbow on the other side can come, be suspended or come down onto the mat. Your elbow is up, but you're not coming forward, chin tucks in, and then pressing your hand down, coming up, and coming over to the other side. So I'm sliding my hand out, bending the elbow. I can hold the back of my head or stretch straight out. My elbow can be up or down. And tummy in to come up. Lift and roll your shoulders, just opening the energy gateways from the collarbones into the head. And if you can, don't worry if you can't, just clasp your hands behind you, open your shoulders. If that's too much, just hold your wrists or hold your elbows. I'm trying to see if you can see what I'm doing. Just lifting up slightly, release your hands. Then just put your hands once more on your shins to lift you up. Tummy comes in, and then just very, very gently walk your hands forward. Feel that you're straightening or lengthening from the base of your spine all the way to the top of your head. You won't come forward very much. That outer piriformis you might feel that slightly. And then when you're forward as far as you want, you just let your head relax. And take a couple of in and out breaths coming forward. Again, calm the nervous system. The chin naturally tucks in slightly, the back of the neck naturally lengthens. Blood and energy naturally comes into the head. And to come out, tummy in towards the spine. That secures your core slightly, your lower back, and walk your hands up. Take your hands under your knees. And then come to the side and come to kneeling. So we're going to do a cat-cow, which I think will be very familiar for a lot of you. And again, knees are hip-width apart, hands presses down into the ground, second finger engages into the ground. And we're just going to explore rocking the bottom from side to side, rockabye baby. So it's almost like wagging your tail if you were a dog. It starts to move energy in your lower abdominal area. So your lower organs just get a very, very gentle swish of movement. Nothing too much, just a gentle wake up movement. And then we come to the very familiar, come to the center cat. So dipping your back as you breathe in, either looking along the floor or looking up, choose. And you'll feel a stretch in your lower abdominal area to activate your abdominal muscles. And breathing out, round your back, chin comes to chest. Tail goes down, depending on how much you round. Inhaling, dipping your back. You can dip your back a little bit or a lot. And then breathing out, round and chin comes to chest. As we dip up back this time, staying with the back dipped, and then just put a tiny bend in your elbows, and then straighten your elbows. And as you your elbows and straighten them, you'll feel a pull in the abdominal area. Bend the elbows and straighten them. You'll just feel your abdomen tightening slightly. And then round your back once more, chin comes to chest. And then come back to neutral. Walk your hands towards your knees, tuck your toes underneath, and just stay there for a moment with your toes tucked underneath. How much weight you put on your toes is very much dictated by how you balance the weight on your hands. So you can open your toes more and more and bring your bottom back towards your heels, opening your lung meridians even more. But if that's too painful, then take the weight off your feet and off your toes and come a little bit more forward. But ultimately, we're going to come to tummy in and come to lifting the knee. We're going to come to standing effectively. So come to very, very gently bending the knees. Walk your hands to your feet to your hands. And gently, really, with the knees bent. You can use your hands to look up the front of your body as you come in your own time to a standing position. Coming upright, stacking your bones one on top of the other. Lift and roll your shoulders. Come to the top of the mat. And we're going to do some very modified salutes to the suns. So just explore opening your feet. Your toes are stretched, big toe down, little toe stretched out. Your feet can be together, or I suggest hip width apart, slightly easier. Breathing in and breathing out, bring your hands, palms together at the center of your chest. Breathing in, raise your arms up, either looking ahead or looking upwards. If you're looking upwards, stretch your hands out. Thumb behind you, the finger in front. Breathing out, bend your knee, rolling down, and then place your hands on the side of your feet. As you step or slide your right foot back, right knee goes on the ground. And you can untuck your right toe if you want to, or keep it tucked. Just feel the stretch on your thigh and your inner groin. Then tummy in as you slide your left foot back. You're in cat again. Dip your back, looking up or along the mat, and then breathing out round, chin to chest. Inhaling, dipping your back. And as you round, tuck your toe and come optionally, if downward dog's not good for you, you can stay in cat. Come to a very soft downward dog. Your bottom goes away from your hands. Knees are bent and then they begin to straighten, but you don't have to bring your knees to the ground. And when you're in your soft dog, bend one knee and straighten it. Then bend the other knee and straighten. So you're walking the dog, but your knees don't have to touch. You can sway your bottom from side to side. Your thumb is pressed down in your second finger so that aligns your hands properly, and the inside of your elbows are sort of facing one another, just to locate the arms and the shoulders properly and aligning. You're keeping on bending one knee and then the other. Bend both knees, lengthen your spine all the way along. Your bottom goes away from you, goes away from your wrists. Begin to straighten your legs. Don't have to be totally straight. And then bend both knees and come back down to the ground. And your hands move to the left, which gives space for your right foot to come up. Hands go either side of your right foot. Tuck your left toes underneath and lift your left knee, stepping or sliding your left foot towards your right foot. Your hands go on your shin. Press your hands into your shins as you breathe in and lengthen from your tailbone to the top of the head. Breathe out as you bend your knees and your elbows go out. Breathe in, press your hands on the shin, lengthen along the tailbone. Breathe out as you stay here. And then breathe in, bend your knees or soften your knees, press your feet into the ground and roll your hands up. Vertebra by vertebra to come to standing. Inhaling, hands go up, looking up or straight ahead. Stretching your hands, thumbs behind in front, and breathing out, lower your hands down by your side. And you might like to just lift and roll your shoulders. Clasp your hands behind your back. Lift and roll your shoulders, so opening your shoulders, stretching and opening your chest. Knuckles aim towards the ground. And then separate your hands and slide your hands as you bend your knees down the back of your legs.
Hands either side of your feet, bend your knees, step or slide your left foot back, left knee on the ground, and just enjoy your toes can be tucked under, stretching along moving again, or flat on the ground. Enjoy the stretch on the right side. You can use your right elbow to secure your right leg so that you're not drifting your leg out to the right, with your knees pointing straight ahead. And then slide your right knee back. Inhaling or in cat, dipping your back, looking up or looking on the ground, breathing out, rounding your back, chin comes to chest. Inhaling, dipping your back. And this time, as you breathe out and round, tuck your toes. Bottom comes slightly towards your heels, maybe even your hands move back slightly. As you press down with your palms, lift one knee and then the other. You might like to make your feet slightly wider, your knees are slightly bent. And then, as you bend your knees, lengthen your spine and bottom away from you, and then start to straighten your legs. And then walk one leg, walk the dog, so bend one knee slightly straighter than the other. Don't feel that you have to bring your heels to the ground. You can, in that straightening and lengthening your knees, you can just sway your bottom from side to side if that feels good for you. And then very, very gently bend both knees, come back down to the ground. I think I'm on the right side. So the hands to the right, left foot comes up, hands either side of the left foot. Tuck your right toes under, tummy comes in, lift your right knee, and step your right foot to your left foot. Hands on the shins, inhaling, lengthening along the spine. Breathing out, bending, elbows out, knees soft. Breathing in, hands go on the shin. Stay here as you breathe out. And soften your knees as you press your feet down and rolling that vertebra by vertebra. Standing. Inhaling, looking up, stretching your fingers, press your feet down, and breathing out, lowering. Lowering. We'll do the next round slightly quicker. Inhale, exhale, hands together. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, bend the knees, hands down. Right foot back, right knee on the ground. Left foot back, left knee on the ground. Dip your back, cat. Round your back, tuck your toes, cow, chin to chest. Lift your knees up, come into a downward dog. Pushing your weight away from your wrists. Separate your feet if that's better. Bend both knees. Straighten both knees. Bend both knees. Straighten them. Bend the knees all the way down to the ground. Hands go to the left. Right foot comes up. Hands either side of the right foot. Tuck the left toes. Lift the left knee. Step or slide left foot to right foot. Press the feet into the ground. Bend your knees and roll all the way up to standing. Inhaling, hands up. Breathing out, hands down. Lift and roll your shoulders as you clasp your hands behind you, knuckles to the ground. Open your shoulders. Separate your hands and slide the hands all the way down the backs of the legs. Hands on the ground. Step or slide left foot back, left knee on the ground. Right foot slides, right knee on the ground. Dipping your back. Cat, rounding. Cow, chin to chest. Tuck your toes, hands back slightly, maybe downward dog. Widen your feet. Take your time to bend both knees, lengthen your spine. Straighten your legs a little bit. Bend your knees, your spine lengthens again. Weight away from your wrists, straighten. And then bend both knees straight back down to the ground. Hands go to the right. Left foot comes up, hands either side of the left foot. Tuck your back right toes, lift up your right knee, and step your right foot to your left foot. And then just press your feet into the ground as you roll all the way up to standing. Lift your hands up. Lower your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders. And then just stand, spreading your toes, and take a couple of breaths in Tadasana or Samastiti. Just close your eyes and just notice any little movements, any circular movements that your body makes to retain your balance. We're also letting the energy that we've created from the salute to the sun settle in the body before we move on. So it's almost like a standing rest. Just noticing that the body is stacked up vertebra by vertebra, the feet are pressing into the ground. If you turn the palms fractionally upwards, you are opening the shoulders fractionally. This area can close down quite easily, and when it closes down, the shoulders droop forward, and then you start compressing into your breath. You're closing down your space in your chest area. And then bring your hands together at the chest. And as we come to bend our knees and come once more down to the ground, salute to the sun works on the heart area. We've been moving through the body up to the heart. And we're now going to move to the throat area. So coming onto your back. And we're going to be doing a variation of the Sanskrit name is Dvipada Pitam, which is 2-foot support or bridge. It is good for the throat, or it's a throat area, it opens the throat, but it also is quite good for the lower back. It strengthens the muscles. So your knees are bent, your feet are hip width apart, your chin is not up to the ceiling, it's your back of your neck is long, and your hands are actually palms down, thumbs slightly pressing into the ground to support you. Your shoulders are away from your ears. And just breathe in and out. And then when you're ready, just start by gently, hopefully you'll know what I mean when I say pelvic tilt. Pressing your bottom, you're pressing your back into the ground, so you lift your bottom and then just release and relax. There's a little gap in the small of your back. And just, it's a very gentle movement, just slightly putting your back to the ground, your bottom goes to lift up and then just releasing it. So we're just exploring one small pelvic tilt movement in preparation for bridge. And now next time that you bring your back down to the ground, press down with your feet and just slightly lift your bottom off the ground, as little as much as you like. Bend your elbows, raise your hands, your bent elbows up above you until the hands touch, back of the hands touch the ground, your elbows are bent. You lift as little your bottom as much as you like. And then breathing out, lower your bottom, lower your elbows, all the way back down to the ground. And just take a breath to recover. It's quite a heavy weight to lift your body up from the ground like that, and you do it slowly. Press your feet when you're ready once more into the ground. Lift your bottom, lift your arms, bent at the elbows. You can lift your arm right up above your head, opening your chest. If you do lift up quite a lot, make sure your knees are not splaying out to the side. If someone's got your hands on your knees, imagining them pulling them away from you. And then just breathing out, lowering your bottom back down to the ground, bend your elbows, and just come all the way back down to the ground, vertebra by vertebra. Hug your knees into your chest. That compensates the movement. Bring your feet back down to the ground, hip width apart, hands back down to the ground. Press down with your feet, lifting your bottom up a little bit, a lot. Raise your arms, chin comes into the chest, Jalandhara, and then breathing out, lower your arms and your back down to the ground, just releasing. And then bring your knees into your chest. And then place the knees back and the feet back down on the ground. Hands back down on the ground. And one more time, just we'll finish by pelvic tilting, just releasing the body, pressing the back down to the ground as you move one way, as if you're going to lift your bottom from the ground, and then just relaxing. And there's that little gap under your back. And then just come to neutral. And while we're here, then your knees are still bent, your feet are on the ground. And just take both elbows, I hope you can see me, both elbows up and my hands, I've got my thumbs extended. I'm going to put my thumbs on my forehead, at the centre of my forehead, and then just smooth my thumbs from the centre of the forehead outwards over the temples and off the temple. Bring my thumbs back to the centre of the forehead, just smooth them centrally outwards, coming off of the temples. So we are working now at the third eye, the next energy level up. Thumbs at the centre, just smoothing both thumbs out from the centre of the forehead, out over the temples. You can do that again, or you might like to drop the backs of your thumbs to either side of the bridge of your nose. And just very, very gently smooth from the bridge of your nose out under your eyes, your sinuses, along your cheekbones, uppermost the temple, the ear area, and once again, just backs of the thumbs, the other side of the bridge of the nose, and just smooth out gently under the eyes, that bone there, along the cheekbones, up to almost the ears and off. And again, just let that smooth. You're getting a lot of points on your face. And then you can drop the backs of your thumbs practically low, almost above your lips, and just smooth out almost across your jaw level, your upper jaw. You can drop your thumbs a little bit further, almost under your lips, and just let the backs of your thumbs smooth out across your jawline, up to underneath your ear. The jaw holds a lot of tension as well. So you're just letting that smooth out and upwards. And then we're having a nod to the crown energy, the top of my head. Just take your hands and gently place the hands on the top of your head. I know it sounds strange, but that's where the fontanelles are, the crown, the saddest part. And just gently cradle your head in your hands for a moment. In yoga, the movement for activating the crown chakra, the crown of the head, is headstand. But that is ruinous to many necks. And so this is a very much more, we do child's pose and then come into hare. For those of you familiar with that, you just roll up in child's pose to roll the back of the crown of your head on the ground. But we're doing a really gentle alternative by holding and just slightly pressing on the crown of the head, just to activate that crown energy without putting the neck in any danger. And then just release your hands back down. You can stay with your knees bent, or if you want to spend the next few breaths relaxing on the ground in Shavasana, then please do. And we're just going to have a very gentle guided relaxation. So adopt a position that's comfortable for you. And bring your focus to your tailbone, or even the space beyond your tailbone, to encompass the base energy of our body. It's where we started, our foundational pose. And as you bring your focus to the base of your spine, breathing in, mentally say to yourself, slow. And breathing out, mentally say to yourself, hum. Breathing in, so. And breathing out, hum. And again, repeat that, focusing on that lower part of the energy. The base of our spine is something that we share with all the animal kingdom, and it's connected very much to our survival, obviously to our reproduction, but our basic survival, our basic needs, very base energies, grounding and very much connected with the earth. People who think a lot tend to live in their heads. And so you would ground or want to ground someone who's very much in their daydreaming headspace all the time. And grounding energy poses, or focusing on the base of the spine, is one way to balance those energies. And now move your attention in your mind's eye slightly higher up. So relieve the lower base of the spine and only move a very small way up, almost at the tailbone level. And this energetic level of our being connects to an aspect of physically, it connects to our kidneys and our bladder area, and it connects to the watery fluidity area of our energies. So it is a water element. And breathing in as we focus here on the water element, breathing in so. And as you breathe out, mentally say to yourself, hum. Breathing in to that area, so. And breathing out, hum. Breathing in, so. And breathing out, mentally say to yourself, hum. And moving in your mind's eye a little bit further up the body to the center, the navel energy, which is part of our digestive system. Again, it's something we share with the animal kingdom. Emotionally, it connects to our true selves. It's our inner power. And you think about it, our digestive system is part of our inner power. It's where we transform food into energy that we can use. So breathing in at this level, slow, and breathing out, hum. Again, breathing in, so, and breathing out, hum. And breathing in, so, and breathing out, hum. And before we leave that energy, it's the element of fire, but fire also connects our digestion to our eyes, strangely enough. And fire is part of our vision, of course, where we're going. And the fire element also connects to our feet in this particular system. And moving up a little bit further, we connect into our heart level. Again, we share that with the animal kingdom, but we also have the emotional and the independent thought process going on at the heart too. So breathing in at the heart level, slowly, and breathing out, hum. Breathing in, slow, and breathing out, hum. Breathing in at the heart level, slow, and breathing out, hum. And the heart level connects to the element of air, and it connects to our sense of touch, and connects the lungs to the heart, which is a natural thought process or a natural connection. And then we move up a little bit further to the throat area, quite a complex area. The throat area is very connected to also our heart. And if you think our respiratory circulation can be very linked as well. And the throat area, again, bring your attention here. In this system, it's the colour blue. And I believe the ancient Egyptians wear blue at the throat. Some of you might be Egyptian experts here, but anyway, breathing in so, and breathing out breathing in so, and breathing out and breathing in so, and breathing out And the throat connects to speaking our truth. It connects in, I mentioned the abundant energy, which is our elimination energy, but the throat energy is something called the Udana energy. It's an upward flow of energy. And if this is interrupted or blocked in any way, I believe this comes in the Chinese world into what they call rebellious qi. It can cause all kinds of problems. So if you're blocked for speaking your truth of throat energy, then it can cause hiccups further along the body. It can often connect into the mind, so it can disturb. It's part of where people with Parkinson's, their upward energy, their Udana energy, has been disturbed. And actually, my understanding is that the NHS would normally give speech therapy to people with Parkinson's. So they understand that the energy level of speech part, the Udana energy of the speech, can be disturbed. It also, of course, connects into the thyroid and the parathyroid, and they're part of the metabolic control. And then moving up the next throat and upwards is the element of ether. So moving up to the third eye, which is where we stroke across our foreheads. It's our centre of intuition and our centre of knowledge. And it connects in our brains to the pineal and the pituitary glands, also part of our metabolic control. So where we moved our heads from side to side, we connected, of course, physically to our neck movements, our neck muscles and our shoulder muscles, but it connects emotionally to our intuition and our aspects of our centre of knowledge, but also connects to part of our master metabolic control, pituitary and pineal. And then very gently drifting your mind up to that top of the head, the crown chakra, the Saraswara, with all the where the fontanelles meet. It's what connects our individual bodies to our higher consciousness. And it's where a lot of electrical energy that's in the atmosphere all the way around us can have an effect on us. We can be very sensitive to vibrations and energy. So where we cleared at the beginning our energy, our magnetic field, it links to our higher consciousness. And again connects to the element of ether, and colour-wise, various colours, but white is perhaps an easy colour, or a combination of lovely silver and gold, very sparkly energy. So breathing in stone and breathing out focus at the top of the head, and breathing in so, breathing out and breathing in so, and breathing out And then take a moment to have a thought for the day. It can be a thought for yourself, or a thought or a wish for somebody else. So just focus on that thought for the day. And then just connect to where you are on the mat, where you're lying or seated. And come to hug your knees into your chest once more, rolling from side to side. Maybe move your fingers and thumbs. And come in your own time to very gently either lay on the ground or otherwise come to a seated position to finish the class. Taking your time so as not to disturb anything. If you want to lie on the ground, that's absolutely fine. And we're going to come to just bringing the hands to the heart once more. Taking a breath for yourself. and finishing the class on this lovely sunny day. Have a lovely day ahead, and thank you.